Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews from the Overflow room. And we continue to work our way through the one, the only, the inimitable Leos Janáček. We're up to video number 14 of Janáček. That's a lot of Janáček. And there's a good bit more to come, actually. To be honest with you, I usually do, something like 8 to 10 CDs per video of these Overflow room things, depending on whether they're box sets or how long it's going to take. But Janáček is just one of those composers. I tend to do a couple fewer because, first of all, his music gets coupled in interesting ways, so it takes a little extra time to untangle what's on the disc. And second of all, he's just so interesting. And there's so many interesting performances and rare performances and things of his music. So I've taken my time a little bit over these, and I hope you don't object, because he's just a composer that is so worth getting to know. And we begin this particular sojournette with 3 discs featuring all of his orchestral works, or it's hard to say all because there's always sniglets and things and opera suites and whatnot, but basically his orchestral works. This was a 3-disc set on Supraphon featuring František Žílek, who was a major Janáček guy, and made opera suites and things like that, with the Brno State Philharmonic Orchestra, which was Janáček's hometown team. It's a very good collection. The orchestra is second tier. I mean, it's not the Czech Philharmonic, but it's a very good ensemble. And they know how to play Janáček, more to the point. Žílek knows the music, and I really enjoy these recordings. I've got a couple copies of them. This is like my spare. So let's see what's in here. In Volume 1, you have the Lachian dances, the suite for strings, the early suite for strings, and the early idyll for strings, which is a big work, 28 minutes in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 movements. And it's all sort of Dvorak's Serenade for String wannabe. You might call it Dvorak without the tunes. Dvorak once told Janáček, don't be afraid of melody, you can do it. Well, Janáček actually couldn't do it. He was not a melodist. He was a speech rhythm and folk motivist, if anything, and his mature style found a way around his lack of long-breathed melody, and you can hear his earlier style very successfully here. The Lachian dances, of course, are his version of sort of the Slavonic dances, so it's very interesting stuff. Volume 2, Taras Bulba, the Adagio for orchestra, a single movement 6-minute thing. The Suite for Orchestra, Opus 3, which is really delightful and has within it some of the tunes that later were incorporated into the Lachian dances. The Jealousy Overture, the original overture to Jennifer, his Cossack dance, and the Serbian Kolo, and his symphonic poem, The Fiddler's Child, which nobody knows, but which is quite interesting, and the Ballad of Blanek, another symphonic poem, about 8 minutes of very weird-sounding Janáček-y music. It's just Janáček things all over the place. Then we've got Volume 3, the Sinfonietta, the Danube. This was a symphonic poem or a symphony in 4 movements that he didn't complete before he died, but they were done enough so that they could be made performable. And the 3rd movement is a soprano vocalese that you just have to hear to believe. It's totally bizarre. And then the violin concerto, The Wandering of a Little Soul, which became the overture to From the House of the Dead, and Schluck und Jau, his incidental music, which is just fantastic. 10 minutes of just heaving, pulsating, crazy Janáček. And this is a really nice series with the Brno Phil and František Žílek. Good luck finding it. Sorry, folks. Then we've got the Unknown Janáček. This is Volume 4, Volume 3, Volume 2. Oh, I have them all. We did Volume 1 a while ago, actually. Let's put these in order so we can do this. We can tell you what the Unknown Janáček is. First, we've got a ballet. Yes, there's a ballet. Rakosh Rakoczy, which is 53 minutes long. Good Lord. Which actually is a expanded version of the Lachian dances. And it became a ballet, and it's here. Yeah, it's here. It'd be nice if somebody else did it. It's got like songs and things, I think, in it too and whatnot. And then we've got folk songs and dances with chorus, a bunch of those as filler. So this is world premiere recordings featuring Leos Swarovski and the Brno State Philharmonic. And yeah, nifty stuff. It really is. Maybe somebody else will record it someday. Then we've got Latin masses and motets, his complete works on Latin texts. Now, there's some unknown stuff. There's a mass in E-flat, which is unfinished, for soloist, chorus, and organ. And then we've got, Exaudi Deus, a couple versions of that. Exsurge Domine for mixed chorus. Introitus Infesto SS Nominis Jesu for mixed choir and organ. Most of these are very, very short. There's a communion and a benedictus and a gradual, two graduals. Veni Sancti Spiritus for male chorus. I mean, who knows this stuff, right? Then we've got Liszt, Mass in B flat for soloist, mixed chorus, and organ, arranged by Janáček. Well, that's something else, isn't it? And Constitues Cos for male chorus and organ. So with the Prague Chamber Choir under Roman Valek, all, most of these are world premiere recordings. Yeah. Sound interesting? I would think so. And then we've got, Unknown 4, Love Letters. For 3, oh my goodness, look at this. Love Letters, sounds in memory of, oh, good Lord, Forshgot Tovachovsky, I don't know what that is. For 3 violins, viola, and cello, an Ave Maria for male voices a cappella, speech melodies, just speech melodies that he notated, more speech melodies, lots more speech melodies. And then we've got, Zdravas Maria for soprano, mixed choir, violin, and organ. To the Merstic Brothers for piano, 20-second long piece. And then the original version, which has now become rather better known than it was, of the second string quartet, the Love Letters, for 2 violins, viola d'amour, and cello. Originally, he wrote it for viola d'amour. And so here we have it with the viola d'amour. And then, of course, there's this piece called To Retired Teachers After 50 Years of School-Leaving Examinations for male voice chorus a cappella. And boy, does that wrap up the unknown Janáček with unknown Janáček, doesn't it? So that's really rather cool. Nifty stuff that you're not going to find anywhere else. And this is on Supraphon too. They really should just box all this stuff up and reissue it. It's just such a shame that these things aren't readily available, but it's very, very interesting repertoire. And last but not least, 20th century wind quintets on Naxos. Why not? Paul Hindemith's Kleine Kammermusik, Barber's Summer Music, Lars-Erik Larsson's Divertimento for wind quintet, and Janáček's Mladi Youth with the Michael Thompson Wind Quintet, which is a very, very good group. They did some Reicha and other things on Naxos, and they're all delightful, and so is this. So there you have it, my friends. Quite the selection of interesting Janáček, I think, in this particular clump. Keep on listening, friends. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care.